I got some really sweet stuff on this episode. I'm going to review the HTO, that's the Haunted Trigger Object by Vortex Ghost Gear. I'm going to show you guys how to go into Photoshop and create a ghost. The big thing is the Haunted Trigger Object. I am absolutely impressed. I'm going to rate it in all three categories, and the good news is it rates pretty high. I really like it. A lot of people say it's a very simple device, but I love it. I think, there's no false positives. It's not going to tell you that something's there when it's not. I have taken it out on site to 3 paranormal investigations now, and I haven't had any activity with it. However, that is a good thing. The HTO does not give you false positives. Something physically has to be in range for it to signal you. On my last episode, I spoke to a young lady named Jenny Lowney. Jenny was the person who went on GoFundMe and asked for people to donate for her to get a new vehicle. She was the ghost hunter, and there were a lot of people out there who said that Jenny should not have done that, and she was made a mockery of. And I actually made a mockery out of her on my last video, and she contacted me and wanted to talk about it. So I took that video down, and I uploaded an edited video where I didn't talk about her, because there's a lot of things I found out. I found out that she's a decent person, and I found out that she ultimately is nice to everyone. And I don't know whoever out there did it, who thought it would be cool to do the first news article, but I just want to let you know, I went to GoFundMe and I signed up for it, and GoFundMe actually allows you to set up an account where you can get people to help pay your bills. So for example, if I have an electrical bill that's $487 and I can't pay it, I can go on GoFundMe and say, help me pay my bills. There, when you sign up, it specifically asks whether you're asking for bills or donations towards something else, and it says that's what it's used for. If you're going to talk about GoFundMe and talk about people in the way they use it, make sure you look into the terms of use on GoFundMe, because people are using it to get people to help them buy cars and pay bills and fund all kinds of stuff. It's simple. When I first watched the video of Bob Christopher with the HTO, I thought, what would really be cool is if he put a speaker on that thing. Because in the first video I seen, there was no speaker. Or if it was there, no one used it. And then I thought, the wire should probably be a little thicker, because you're going to bend it and take it places and do so much with it that it's probably going to break. So the last thing I thought of was, it would be really, really neat if that thing had a potentiometer on it so you could adjust the sensitivity. So Bob contacts me and he says, you know what, I would love for you to review the Haunted Trigger Object. And I said, okay. So he sends it to me, and the first things I'm thinking is, I already know what I'm going to review. I'm going to tell him, add these things to it. But when I get this, apparently Bob has done his research, because this thing has a toggle switch, a speaker, and a thicker gauge wire. I get it, and I'm like, well, what am I going to talk about now? Before I could review anything, I wanted to take it out in the field. I didn't want to play with it in the house, or I wanted to actually take it on site. And I've taken it on 3 investigations now, and I've not got any false positives. So I think it's perfect. I don't have it here with me. Let me get it. So here it is. This is the Haunted Trigger Object by Vortex Ghost Gear. Yes, this is it. And you'll notice it has the big alligator clamp at the end and a very thick gauge wire. And here's what's really cool. The wire is detachable, so it's easy storage. This is just an RCA jack. I mean, that's genius. I don't care what anyone says. That's a cool feature to be able to take the wire off. Here's your potentiometer right here to set your sensitivity, and this is your on and off switch. Let me turn the speaker off. This is the on and off switch for the device, and this is the speaker here, and on the back is the on and off switch for the speaker. And another thing you'll notice is that, you know, it has a stand, so you can stand it up so you can see it. I love the thing. It's, you know, in the paranormal field, there's something called false positives, and there are a lot of devices out there who give out false positives. For example, for me, the Ovilus is just nothing but random words. I've seen no scientific evidence or any other evidence otherwise that it's doing anything. And if it is pulling a word out of the air, who's the person who contacted a ghost to say what measurement it would take to say a certain word? I mean, it's almost stupid talking about it. This device, on the other hand, something physically has to interfere with the field in order for it to work. So let's see if I can get the sensitivity turned down. Probably not, because I'm holding it. There we go. Now, what I've done is I have a little alligator clip that I clip on there, and I adjust it from a distance so that I can tweak it perfectly. It's very hard to adjust because you're in the field as you're adjusting it. So, like when I come down to adjust, I'm in the field, and then I have to back away so that I know what's going on. So what's happening now is that the light is on because I am touching, it's even through the plastic. I mean, it's a pretty sensitive device. You can connect it to any metal object up to 24 inches long, and it'll sense when something touches that. I think that is awesome, because there are tons and tons of metal objects from the past that make great trigger objects. Now, they tell you on one of the videos that you can also use a tin tray. All I did was, this is the top of a Hershey's cookie tray, and what I do is I take my alligator clip and boom, that's it. Now, anything that I put inside, anything at all, I mean, it really doesn't matter what it is. I can put this inside. This is a makeup brush from my wife. It keeps the shine off of my face. I can put this inside, and when you touch it or get near it, it'll set off the device. You'll see the lights come on, and if you're not in the room, you can set the speaker to work, and you can hear it. Well, what's really cool is I like to set it up in front of a DVR system, so maybe if there's a person in another room or downstairs watching a DVR system, they can see the lights come on. And if no one's watching a DVR system, we can hear it scream. So it's a really, really great device. There's nothing bad that I have to say about it. The only modification I would make is a way for you to be able to adjust it without interfering with the field. You know, I had so many ideas about what I wanted to say as far as putting a potentiometer on it and a speaker. It doesn't matter anymore because he's already done that. So he's taken a lot of pride in the device he has, and I find that to be a really, really respectful thing. So here's what's cool. We're going to rate it on the three categories I always rate everything on. We're going to rate it on build, functionality, and price. So the first one for me is build. I love it. I think it is built better than just about any other paranormal device out there. This red thing is a rubber bumper. You can pretty much drop this thing. I mean, you pick it back up and it still works great. It's a really, really heavy gauge wire. I like that because you can actually bend it into shape if you need it to go around something. I mean, It's a really, really good build, and it's not cheap. You know, normally you got those little metal dollar switches to turn things on and off. This has got push button switches. It's got a potentiometer. I think it's great. I love the fact that it has a stand, and I love that it's a device that you know that someone put a lot of care into when they built it. If you drop it down a set of steps, it's still going to work when you pick it up. So on build, I give it 5 stars. 100% perfect. You know, I like devices that don't fall apart. This is built and it looks like a great device. Functionality. Functionality is, you know, does it work for you? How does it work? Does it do what it says? Does it function correctly? I think as far as functionality, it's perfect. You have lights to show whether you've triggered something, or you have audible sound telling whether you've triggered something. You have a potentiometer for adjusting the sensitivity. You've got, it just does, you know, what's cool is when you attach that tray, it adds additional functionality. Now, there's a lot of people, like if you go look at the video that was done by Vortex Ghost Gear, you'll see that they even put like a glass of water and a couple other different things inside of the tray. Anytime you interfere with that area at all, you're going to get some kind of response. As far as functionality, I mean, it is a ghost hunting device. Had we found ghosts already, we wouldn't be hunting them. Is it going to find you a ghost? I can't tell you. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I will tell you that it functions just like it says. It doesn't give you false readings, and when anything interferes with the field, it puts out a signal. So, functionality is 5 stars. It's absolutely perfect. Price. Price is, everyone in the world knows that I'm a cheap bastard. I mean, I really am. Price to me is everything. Price, now this is where a lot of people are probably not going to agree with me, but I'm going to give it 5 stars. Now, let me tell you why. Right now on Vortex Ghost Gear site, it goes for $135. Would I purchase it at that price? Yes, but I would double think it. Like, I'm a big guy on price. I hate overpriced items. However, the reason I'm giving it 5 stars is because I just reviewed functionality and build, and both of them rated high. What that means is if you drop it on the ground 10 times, it's probably still going to work. That makes a good device, and that makes it worthwhile. I mean, you know, there are devices we all have. We've all got the mail meter, right? This is the mailroom shadow detector. Drop this sucker and it probably won't work again. You have to go into some, you know, whatever you're doing, holding it like it's your child. You know, it just completely depends on build. So, $135, and it's creating any trigger object out of anything you have. You know, if your grandfather who was passed on had a favorite coin connected to it, if your grandmother loved, you know, a plastic flower or a vase, connected to the tin and put the vase, you know, it's just, the options for this are completely unlimited. You have tons of devices out there. You know, this thing's $60, the K2, and what does it do? You're looking at it. That's it. There's 5 lights and an on and off switch. And we all remember back in the day when it didn't even come with an on and off switch. You had to jam a quarter in it. So if you're going to pay $60 for that, don't complain about paying $135 for that. Big shout out. Shout out to Vortex Ghost Gear for allowing me to review the device. A shout out to the Ghost Hunter store. I don't know if you guys know, but the Ghost Hunter store has recently moved. I don't have the address available, but if you go to ghosthunterstore.com, there's a brand new address, and Dave, come on over, he'll take care of you. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. Now, the last thing before I sign off for this video. Fort Mifflin. Your donation is to help, not to save the fort. And I'm going to be straight with you. It's because the fort's not going anywhere at this time. If the fort were going anywhere, we would probably all be aware of it. Fort Mifflin is a special place to me. I go out and I speak to everyone that works out there, and I know them all, and they're great people. And I donate my time, and my family goes out. And during events, we help sell hot dogs or, you know, whatever it takes. Fort Mifflin is absolutely an amazing place. And we all know that it's been on more television shows than we can count. Especially around the time they uncovered Casemate 11 when Wayne fell in the hole. That just became the big deal, and everyone wanted to be part of that. The thing is, Saturday night, the 22nd, into the morning of the 23rd, Fort Mifflin had a fire. So, you know, they've gone through their fair share of battles. I remember last year there was flooding, and we went out to clean up, and then previously there was some more flooding, and I didn't clean up for that one, but there were many, many people who did. And I remember seeing a picture of Lorraine up to her knees in water. So Fort Mifflin goes through a new battle all the time. But this time the fire damaged one of the buildings pretty dramatically. And it's going to take donations, funds, and volunteers to help rebuild it. It's something we don't want to see destroyed. It's considered the fort that saved America, and if you haven't read the history on it, please do so. Fort Mifflin is absolutely an astonishing place, and when you're there, you can feel the history come alive. From the events that they put on all year, you know, from spring to late fall. And, you know, if you're a personal friend with me and you look at my Facebook page, I may have 1,000 pictures, and probably 300 of those were taken at Fort Mifflin. It's a great place to be, and it's a lot of great people who run it. So I encourage you to open your pockets. If it's $1 or if it's 100, it really doesn't matter. At this point, anything you have will help. Please donate to Fort Mifflin. Go to their GoFundMe page and donate to them. Don't send it to me. I don't want it. It's not about me. It's about Fort Mifflin. And if you can't find a way to donate to them, call them directly, and they can take donations over the telephone. If you don't want to donate, if you think, you know, I don't think you know what, you can help. All you have to do is come out and pay to go in and check the place out, because they have to keep revenue coming in order to stay alive. But come out and buy a year membership. You know, membership shows that people are interested. Funding comes from interest, and Fort Mifflin is absolutely a place to be interested in. It's just, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and tell you, you really need to go over and check it all out if you haven't. It's a great place. So, keep an eye out. Selma Mansion's going to be having public investigations throughout this year. We just did our first one, and it was a huge success. I say huge, meaning everyone there had a blast. It was a great time. Thank you all for subscribing. Since the last video, I've gotten 250 new followers. I think that's absolutely awesome. Share any device that you see that you would like reviewed. Send me the information on the device, and I'll do everything I can to review it for you. I have tons of devices, from recorders in almost every brand or name or style. I've got cameras. I'm actually, you know what? In the next video, I think I'm going to teach you how to take a $25 camera that you can get at Target or Walmart and turn it into a full spectrum camera. Now, a lot of people love this because they can take pictures on different light scales. This has been converted into a full spectrum. It can see infrared and ultraviolet light. So, you know, there's a bunch of simple things. You can pick up like a 10 megapixel camera with video capabilities for like $25, and there's a certain couple things you can do yourself to turn it into a full spectrum camera. So that's going to be a big one. Everyone wants to know how to do that. I personally have converted somewhere upwards of 15 to 20 cameras now. As always, check out Ghost Gadgets if you want an IR light. That was our last video. And that's it, guys. Until next time, thank you, and feel free to like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching Paranormal Rehab, and I'll be back soon with a brand new episode.